Do you have a trouble spot, like an area of your skin that just seems to stay a problem? Let's talk about that. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Minke. This is Minke Wellness. And there are a lot of different reasons why you could have one spot that is chronically an issue on your skin. And one of those reasons could be it doesn't get good circulation, okay? Now, most of the time, in my experience as a body worker, the circulation on the skin is going to be related to body posture, okay? If you have a certain way of holding yourself, a certain rotation pattern, or certain stressors that are happening in your system from old injuries or just movement habits that are that aren't lined up, then you can end up with a cold spot. Any therapist, any massage therapist who's been touching the skin, or any therapist who touches the body will come across an area where, oh, this is just cold. You know, perfectly good circulation everywhere else, this spot's cold. So that cold spot is not getting good circulation, and it's not going to be healthy. The skin's not going to be healthy, the tissue's not going to be healthy. That could be a problem chronically for the joint or the muscle or the nerve, but it also could be a chronic spot for the skin. So how do we deal with this? This gets back to working with the brushing and trying to get good circulation through that area. One of the things that essential oils might do is to help move in that the fluid, and we've talked about that in way back in our circulatory system when we did that. So doing the dry brushing around that area and working into it. Let's say, for example, that my cold spot, just for the sake of the video, my cold spot was my elbow. And I wasn't getting good circulation there because I've chronic tension. You know, you could let's just crank those muscles. Let's see this chronic ropey muscles and tension that wraps around here, and that may be also the same elbow that I have some issues with. You know, structurally, it might hurt, or you know, whatever. You know, there might be a tendon that's strained. Well, what can I do about that at a skin level? And so that's where we would open up the drainage points. You'd have to understand a little bit about the lymphatic system. Let's go to review that again. I know we went over that way back in February with the circulatory system, but the lymphatic system has drainage, and so the drainage points are along the collarbone, and for the arm, for example, or along the collarbone and in the armpit, okay? So the axillary area. So I would first want to open these areas by doing some of this brushing, right? Gentle stroking. And I'm going to try to stroke everything toward the center of the body, but I'm going to start at these places to open this up and do a little massage. I might do a little bit deeper than stroking if I feel like the muscles are involved. And so a little bit of I'm just kind of these little bit of stroking massage that gets the muscles. You can feel muscles on either side. You don't want to dig heavily into the armpit, for example, or the groin, because you've got a lot of nerve endings in there, and you could, you don't want, and you've got lymph nodes in there that if they are swollen, you don't want to, push on them too hard. But we're talking about gentle, and then I would move up and get this circulation running here, and then I could get that. Just again, circulation around that area, and it goes. So that would kind of liven up that whole arm. But I'm not just trying to do it at the spot. I have to think about where the drainage points are. Okay, if I had a chronic spot, let's say on my behind, that was cold. It's actually a very common area that gets poor circulation. Why? Because we sit too much, and the body is sitting on that area, cutting off circulation to the skin, and then I get this place that just it doesn't get good circulation, so therefore it breaks down faster, it gets flabby faster, it doesn't have tone, and so that would be a case where I'd have to stand up. I would work the hip and groin area, to get the circulation through there, and then work down to the butt area where I would be, again, gently working that skin. Now you can always add the essential oils to it, and we've mentioned frankincense and lavender topically. Those would be great oils to work into the skin. There's a lot of really good skin oils that we could use topically. You got the chamomile oils. Even simple. It almost doesn't matter what you use. unless you're going to go for the seriously hot oils, but they also do promote circulation. So you could use oregano and cinnamon oils, you could, but you keep in mind that those are going to be pretty sharp, like, they're going to irritate the skin a little bit, but that might be okay too if you dilute them a little bit with some coconut oil or something like that. So it's really not magic. A lot of times the essential oils are there just to help keep the fat flowing, because they're fat soluble. They will help to solubilize material, and so they help with the massage. They enhance the effect of the massage to improve circulation. So these trouble spots we're talking about on the skin that end up chronically undernourished, by the way, right? They're not getting the circulation. They're not getting good nutrients. That might be something that is just plain structural. And seek out the work of to get your body on track, and that could be, there are a lot of different systems. Stretching systems like yoga or Pilates might help some people. They might be exactly what you need. You got chiropractic that can line you up. I do recommend massage connected with chiropractic. I don't like adjusting the body cold. I like to see the soft tissue be warmed up a little bit before adjustments. But chiropractic work is great. Massage therapy or Aston patterning, structural body work, even better. Because that starts to get to the alignment and the movement of the body, and you can get very sophisticated with someone who can look at your alignments and your movements and say, okay, here's why that part is not getting good circulation, or here's why there's chronic stress on that area, and start to address the whole body pattern. So there is something that you could do if you don't have resources or access to a lot of the bodywork type modalities, is we can use our breathing. And I know that it's going to sound a little bit weird for those who have not been following me on the breathing stuff, but the power of your mind and intention to bring goodness, bring vitality, bring your consciousness to an area it's very, very powerful. It's very effective. And so we use this breathing. We haven't done a whole lot of it. I've gotten into more of the info part of the wellness stuff. But so let's just do a little bit of breathing as I breathe in and feel the parts of the skin, right? So I'm going to breathe in. And again, to use the breath, I follow the breath in through the lungs. The lungs, the air goes into the lungs. Then it goes from the lungs into the bloodstream. So I'm feeling the oxygen saturate the blood. That blood goes to the heart and it gets pumped out to the rest of the body, including the skin. So once I'm following the journey, if you've ever watched a Magic School Bus, they take their little school bus and they dive in, and you see all the little cartoon examples of what's going on inside. That's basically, how my imagination is working on this. Breathe in, get into the lungs, get into the blood. Now, once I'm in the blood, I can, of course, travel anywhere. And I don't do it just in one breath. I can do it in a series of breaths. It doesn't have to be instantly there. The more you practice, the better you get at it. And so let's say I've got a chronic spot in the back of my leg, back of my left leg, and so I want to move, I want to get there and really get my attention and focus to that area and bring my consciousness and therefore circulation. You'd be surprised at how powerful this can be. Now, when you get in touch, and this is part of getting in touch with your body, being whole, this is part of my concept of really owning all of my body so that nothing is left behind, no part left behind, and I want to be a complete whole person. And there's so often that when we have an area that we've either forgotten about, literally we sit on that spot, it doesn't get good circulation, and literally the body that part has been forgotten, or it's an area of stress or trauma that I'm trying to distance myself from, so I don't want to deal with it. But either way, there are just basic neglect or reasons why we would be not bring our consciousness to an area. So it's time to bring our consciousness to areas, and areas of the skin can be a window into the rest of the system. So if there's a spot on the skin that can reflect back into the body, and it might bring us on a journey of wholeness and completeness that we hadn't planned on. Okay, And so we definitely want to have, I'm looking for my release oil. It's been removed from my little area here. So remember our release oil, and when we can use the release, we can put that on. We can bring awareness to an area, just frankincense and lavender. Put the oil on there. Put peppermint. Peppermint is great because it gives us a tingle, right? So if we're talking about the skin, put a little bit of peppermint on that area that you're trying to bring your attention to. In a few moments, you're going to feel the tingle, the cool, and the hot, that little icy hot kind of feel from the menthol. And that way it really highlights that awareness. So I'm going to breathe in, down, and reach down, follow the blood down to that spot for me. I'm just going to pick the back of my left leg. And I'm going to bring my awareness to that. Now, once I connect to it, I've made that connection. Now I'm going to bring in the goodness. I'm going to bring in the circulation. I'm going to bring in the nutrients. I'm going to flood the body with nutrients. Okay, and I'm really asking for that circulation to get down there. Now that, to me, when I do that, I feel the nerve circulation in addition to the actual fluid circulation. And so I can feel the awareness comes up, and I actually, even as I'm sitting here, I can feel how I'm cutting off nerve flow and circulatory flow through the hip as I'm sitting. Okay, that's going to happen. But you start to become aware of those things. So I'm going to breathe in again. Okay, and now, so that's flood the body with nutrients. That's part 2 of our wellness strategy. Part 1 is to get rid of the poisons, right? Stop poisoning yourself. Now that's an active thing of let's make sure we're not adding any poisons, but we can do that with the breath by improving the lymph, right? So I'm going to now use the lymph breathing, make a connection to that, and I'm going to pull with the inhale, pull that fluid back up to the body. I want to get the lymph flowing. I've got to get circulation, so all the toxins and junk and inflammatory signals that are hanging out down there, which is why it might be a chronically irritated spot for your skin. I'm going to pull that back into the body so it can be processed out the liver and go out its natural way. And so I've got this idea of bringing circulation to an area, pulling lymph and circulation back from an area, and that gets our cycle, right? And I could do that. If you've got a trouble spot, that's what I do with mine. I mean, I do a little bit of breathing. It doesn't require a huge amount of effort and time. It certainly doesn't cost any money. And now I can bring in some imagery where I can bring in the light and the love and make the light glow, make it shine, make it feel warm and loved. I might even have a conversation with my body part and say, hey, I'm sorry, I've neglected you. I love you. I want you still part of me, where we can do that. You'd be surprised at somehow some of these things have a deep emotional connection. You don't necessarily have to know what that emotional connection is, but that's where the essential oils during a process like this, where you're reconnecting, can be awesome. And actually there is an oil called Reconnect. It's in the kit, the Reconnect kit, but there's an oil blend called Reconnect. And what a fabulous way to use the oils. It doesn't matter. You could pick a blend or a single, just orange oil, lemon oil. What I'm saying is the oils have an additional element of emotional connection because they work through the limbic system in the sense of smell. So they're extremely versatile for doing this kind of healing work, if you will. That you're doing the oils aren't doing the healing. They're facilitating the healing work that the body is doing, that your body and your mind is doing. So just want to make that clear. Okay, so just as this is I know this might, for some of you, have gone a little esoteric for hoping to get some answers for your trouble spots, but those trouble spots are something either chronic poor circulation or some other issue, chronic, that we're not making a connection. So getting back and connected whole, breath is a great way to do that, okay? So keep working on these things. Throw me some comments if you want to know a little bit more about how to make those connections and become more whole. There's maybe I'll do a workshop just on that, on becoming whole. And it's an exciting thing to bring your whole full consciousness to making your body fully conscious and then moving forward in life that way with your whole self. It's awesome. And it's so worth it. So keep on working on this. Wellness Daily. Happy wellness. We'll see you tomorrow.